Chapter 1337. Mom. The children called out. Seeing that the children were all standing at the door waiting, Qingye and Donghuang Baiji felt a bit better. At least, they didn't run over to that bastard's side and knew to stand on their mother's side. This was also Qin Yutong's idea. She and Qian Yuqing went to calm Yihua down, while the children came over to calm their mother down. This should be the best temporary solution. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji looked at the children and felt wronged. Seeing that their mother was about to cry, the children were speechless. Donghuang Li and Yi Lu hurriedly went over to comfort their mother, and after they comforted their mother, the mother became even worse. Donghuang Li began to cry even more fiercely, and even kept on scolding Yihua about how bad he was towards their mother, and how bad he was towards their mother. The children listened and did not say anything. Women, after all, would inevitably complain a bit. Right now, God Yi was experiencing it in his heart. God Yi, don't learn from your father, treat Xian better, understand? Donghuang Baiji said to her son seriously. However, like father, like son. God Ye's personality was rather similar to Yihua's. He was also the most similar out of the four children. Mom, you are sad. Perhaps, not long later, you will become a grandmother. Donghuang Li could only use some happy things to wash away the sadness in her mother's heart. As expected, when Donghuang Baiji heard that she was going to have a grandson, she immediately stopped crying. Really? Donghuang Baiji looked at God Yi and Lu Xian. That focused gaze of hers was as if she was going to have a grandson. Lu Xian was embarrassed by Donghuang Baiji's gaze. She kept staring at my stomach. I just did it last night, how can I have a child so quickly? Mother's reaction made God Yi a bit embarrassed. I don't even know what happened last night. I don't even know if this child is pregnant or not. Seeing the reaction of the two children, Donghuang Baiji knew that the gloominess in her heart immediately disappeared. Great, this is great, Mom is waiting to carry a grandson. This is great, where am I going to find a grandson for Mom to carry? God Yi felt helpless. Is big sister trying to help, or is she trying to cause trouble? As the big sister, Donghuang Li could only help to this extent. Little brother, work hard and give birth to a child. Perhaps, when the child is born, the relationship between mom and dad will become better. After all, when a child is born, it means that there is hope. Right now, Donghuang Baiji was happy. However, Qingye felt even worse. Look at God Yi. He has found a girlfriend and is about to have a child. Looking at his own son, he was still single. Just thinking about it made his heart ache. Yi Yan could feel what his mother was thinking. He subconsciously looked away, indicating that he didn't know anything. That's right. Now, only Donghuang Li and Yi Yan were left at the scene. Big sister, think of a way, save me. Yan, if I were you, I would hurry up and go and find a girlfriend. Big sister, the time is so short, where am I going to find a girlfriend? Do you have any close female friends? It would be good for you to cooperate with Mom and make Mom happy. Donghuang Li shook her head, the only close female friend that you have is my little brother. Also, if you are going to find a girlfriend, don't look for her in the empire, Dad will be able to find out her identity in a short while. Try to stay as far away as possible. What you said makes sense. Lu, can't you change to another method? How can you go and find a girlfriend so carelessly? Good luck to you, I will go and see how Dad is doing. When adults quarrel, us children are truly worried to death. Donghuang Li let out a long sigh, then slowly walked away. Yi Yan, who had a gloomy look on his face, was left behind. Right now, Yi Yan was thinking of various plans in his mind. Spend some money to find an actress and come back to act in a show. As for the future, just say that their personalities are incompatible, and they broke up. As expected, this is the method that scumbags usually use to break up. Should I look for Uncle Wei? Uncle Wei doesn't even go out to fool around. Where would I find any resources? That's right. Let's look for Aunt. Isn't Aunt the Empress of God's realm? She has a lot of resources in her hands. Let Aunt find an actress for me. Chapter 1338. As long as he dealt with his mother, it would be fine. He would just deal with it like this for now. What a headache. However, he hadn't seen his aunt yet and had only heard his mother talk about her yesterday. He didn't know if his aunt was easy to talk to and if she could find a movie Empress-level expert for him. His parents had discerning eyes, and if it was fake, they would be able to see through it right away. However, to make his mother happy, this was the only thing he could do. Maybe if his mother was happy, she would have something to talk to his father about. For the sake of family harmony, it seemed like he had to find his aunt. After making his decision, Yi Yan headed straight to God's world. To God's world, this place was still a little foreign. However, there was a sense of novelty. Although Wushu Empire had changed a lot, the palace had always been the same, so there was still a sense of familiarity. Walking on the streets of Spirit Capital, Yi Yan looked around curiously. Was this where gods lived? He thought it would be some sort of celestial realm. In the end, he didn't expect it to be even behind compared to Wushu Empire. He was a little disappointed. In the past, he often heard about how amazing the gods were in deity institution. They were just bragging to the heavens. In the end, he realized that the gods' world that was bragged about was just like that. It was best if he went to find his aunt. This matter was a little more urgent. Directly charge into the palace. That seemed a little rash. It was his first time meeting his aunt, so it wasn't good to be so rash. Stop. Who are you? The guards at the door directly blocked Yi Yan's path. They crossed their spears in front of Yi Yan to block him. I am looking for my aunt. Yi Yan smiled. Looking for aunt. The guard was a little stunned. This was just toying with the two of them. Yi Yan quickly explained, the Empress is my aunt, so you all know. The guard's expression became a little ugly. There had to be a limit to playing with people. You actually said that the Empress was your aunt, why don't you say that Prince Yi is your father? What is going on? Only to see that a carriage had appeared. A sweet voice spread out from within. It was really comfortable, like one was bathing in sunlight. Lord Envoy, this person says that the Empress is his aunt. The guard cupped his hands and said respectfully. Aunt? As far as I know, the Empress is ranked second in the Yi family, and the eldest is Prince Yi. Who is Prince Yi to you? Yi Yan was helpless. Originally, he wanted to act cool, but in the end, he was seen through. Boring. Lord Yi is my father. Yi Yan's heroic spirit was soaring to the heavens. Using his own father's name really feels good, there is nothing better than this. My father's name is Yi Hua, think about it. Sure enough, when Yi Yan said this, everyone was shocked. Even the woman in the carriage was shocked. She was just guessing. He didn't expect that the young man outside was actually Lord Ye's son. Do you know the consequences of pretending to be Prince Ye's son? At this time, the guards did not dare to offend him easily. There were many people who pretended to be relatives of the Empress, but there was basically no one who pretended to be relatives of Prince Yi. This was the first time. I know. I really have something urgent to see aunt. Yi Yan said anxiously. What if his mother had a sudden impulse and wanted to meet his girlfriend's family? At that time, she would definitely tell him. You and your father are the same, lying to your mother. Why is mother's life so bitter? Being bullied by you and your father like this, mother doesn't want to live anymore. When he thought of how his mother was going to cry and hang herself, Yi Yan's head became big. This was simply too terrifying. Just thinking about it made his entire body numb. He must bring a girlfriend back to deal with this. Get in the carriage, I will bring you in. The voice in the carriage was still so gentle, making Yi Yan feel very comfortable. He directly jumped into the carriage. The guard seemed to want to stop them, but the guard at the side stopped him with a look. If the great messenger guaranteed it, then it would be fine. Even if something happened, it would not be his fault. Yi Yan was actually also very curious about the pretentious woman in the carriage. Therefore, even if he sat in the carriage and spoke, he would be suspected of being pretentious. Then, let me, Gongzi Yi, see what kind of divine being you are. However, when he saw the woman in the carriage, Yi Yan felt that as expected of a pretentious woman. She even masked her face. 666. Wearing a veil and a white skirt, dressed like a saint, Gongzi Yi did not have any feelings for such a saint. Speaking of which, if she wore all black and held a box in her hand, she would definitely be even scarier. You seem to be a little disappointed. You can even see through this, admirable. Yi Yan cupped his hands. It was not that he had never seen a beautiful woman before. Since he was young, he had seen a beauty like his mother, so his immunity was very strong now. The woman was a little unconvinced. Are you looking down on me? Indeed, you are the son of Lord Yi, you can look down on everyone. Yi Yan looked back at the woman doubtfully. Why do your words sound so sour? Even if you want to fill up your brain, you can't fill it up like this. Don't randomly put labels on me, I am a low-key and luxurious man. After saying that, he took out his folding fan and opened it with a swoosh. Speaking of pretentious, I, Yi Yan, am no longer a bronze contestant. I am at least a silver contestant. Sigh, my peerless appearance. Seems like you are indeed the son of Lord Yi. Yi Yan was speechless. Beauty, don't always say that I am the son of Lord Yi, it makes me very surprised. This is the truth. If you were not the son of Lord Yi, you would not even be able to enter the door today. If you were not the son of Lord Yi, perhaps you would still be unknown where you are now. After hearing this, Yi Yan was instantly unhappy. It was as if she was saying that he relied on his father. I, Yi Yan, rely on the heavens, rely on the earth, and rely on myself. Alright, you are right. Who asked me to have a good father, allowing me to do whatever I want? Yi Yan grinned and looked at the woman with a naughty smile, as if he was about to do something dirty. The woman did not expect that Yi Yan would say that. She seemed to be a little disappointed in her heart, thus, she remained silent. Seeing that the woman did not speak, Yi Yan did not speak as well. I am too lazy to speak. You only know how to act pretentious, not even speaking, as if you are very awesome. I, young Master Yi, have never acted pretentious like this. Not long later, the carriage stopped. Yi Yan directly jumped off the carriage. Staying together with this kind of woman is simply going to make my balls hurt. Looking at the stairs in front of him, Yi Yan directly walked up, too lazy to look at the woman behind him. Arriving at the front of the main palace, Yi Yan put away his silk pants attitude and became serious as he walked into the palace. Yi Yuanqing just received the news that his nephew actually came to look for him. Thus, he hurriedly contacted his big brother. Big brother said that his son had indeed returned. So it turns out that he went to look for his aunt. Yi Hua was a little puzzled. Why did Yi Yan go to look for Yuanqing? Looking at the woman on the throne, Yi Yan sized her up. Indeed, she looks a bit similar to father. Yi Yuanqing was also looking at Yi Yan. What a handsome child. Chapter 1339. Aunt. Yi Yan suddenly called out. Eldest nephew. Yi Yuanqing shouted too. The atmosphere was a little weird. Anyway, Yi Yan was dumbfounded. His aunt was a little arrogant. Yi Yuanqing smiled and gestured for the people around to leave. Don't interrupt the conversation between aunt and niece. Big brother's son is really interesting. He is not as cold as big brother. How nice is that? However, just as Yi Yan was about to discuss business with his aunt, the crisp sound of footsteps suddenly rang out. Yi Yan stopped instantly. Was this woman trying to go against him? She really knew how to find the right spot. Greetings, Empress. So it's an envoy. What's the matter? Empress, I'm here to bid farewell to you. Yi Yuanqing was stunned for a moment. Envoy, are you ready to go back so soon? Could it be that I did not treat you well enough? Your Majesty, you must be joking. I like this place very much. I really hope that I can stay here for a long time. Yi Yan choked and muttered, saying one thing and thinking another. Although the voice was very soft, it was still heard. Yi Yuanqing asked curiously, Nephew, you know the messenger? I wouldn't dare, Yi Yan said in a low voice. Yi Yuanqing thought to himself. It seemed like there was a conflict. Looks like I've offended Lord Ye's son. I wonder if I'll be killed on the way back, the woman said softly. Judging from her tone, it seemed that she intended to go against Yi Yan. I say, woman, is there something wrong with you? I know, you're trying to get my attention. You're just trying to play the trick. And, look, this messenger is seducing your nephew, seducing Prince Ye's son. Yi Yan's words were neither servile nor overbearing, as if he was a hero, standing on the moral high ground and condemning this filthy woman. Fighting with me, Yi Yan, you're still too inexperienced. Yi Yuanqing wanted to smooth things over. He smiled and said, all right. Don't make it seem like a quarrelsome quarrel. Who's his enemy? The two of them said in unison. Yi Yuanqing chuckled. By the way, why did you come to me today? I just talked to your father. Yi Yan glanced at the woman next to him. There are outsiders here, how can I say it out loud? I didn't expect Prince Ye's son to have something he can't say. Who said I can't say it? I, Yi Yan, am the benchmark on the road. Then tell me. If you want me to say it, I'll say it. Who do you think you are? Isn't it because you don't dare to say it? Who wouldn't dare? Tell me then. I won't say it. I'm going to piss you off. Yi Yuanqing watched as the two of them started to argue, and he found that Man Deng was right. He wondered what his big brother was thinking. Chuyu wasn't very old. She was only a few hundred years older than Yi Yan. Her family background wasn't bad either. She was well educated, gentle, and virtuous. She was also very smart. She would definitely be able to help Yi Yan in the future. Yi Yuanqing of course knew about it. Every year, he would go and take a look at their relationship, and at the end, he found out that there was a problem between big brother and sister-in-law. What happened? They exploded, they got into a scolding fight. It was just this morning, they were scolding to their heart's content, they almost broke up. Ah! So serious. Yi Yuanqing cried out in surprise, I didn't expect that the matter would be so serious. Yi Yan shook his head, my little brother, he found a girlfriend. Last night, they did that, and it was as if the child is going to be born soon. Baiji's mother was very happy, I am the only son of my mother, and I don't have a girlfriend right now, so you are looking for aunt to give birth to the child. Yi Yan, what the hell, what is wrong with aunt's brain circuit, and is just joking with you, do you want aunt to introduce a girlfriend to you? Yi Yuanqing was a bit mischievous. Seeing Yi Yan's stupefied expression, Yi Yuanqing felt that it was really funny. Not introducing a girlfriend, it is just arranging an actress to pretend to be my girlfriend and make my mother happy for a bit. Once they are happy, they will definitely have something to say to my father. This idea is not bad, all the children have their own families, and for the parents, it is good. Chapter 1340. Then, Aunt, do me a favor, for the sake of our family's harmony. She has already been angered away by you, how can Aunt help? After hearing that, the corner of Yi Yan's mouth slightly twitched, he pointed to the back and said, Aunt, it can't be, you mean the one just now, forget it, let's change to another one. Nephew, then do you know what the consequences of changing to another one will be? Yi Yuanqing smiled faintly, looking like an auntie holding a lollipop. What consequences? Yi Yan asked curiously. Yi Yuanqing walked with his hands behind his back and said slowly, Nephew, you asked Aunt to find an actress to cooperate with you, but do you know your identity? My identity? Yes, although I am an actress, Aunt will tell you that there are too many women who want to marry into Yi family. With the conditions that you said, no woman will reject it, even if it is acting. But nephew, if your family approves of it, do you think you can get rid of it so easily? Yi family is very tempting. After hearing that, Yi Yan felt that what Aunt said was reasonable. Finding a woman is enough, but if I have to clean up the mess later on, wouldn't that be even more troublesome? After all, I am so outstanding, there are definitely a lot of women who want to stick to me. If they want to die, then I am finished. But this girl, Chiyu, Aunt dares to guarantee that she has no intention of marrying into our Yi family. You saw it just now, she can still go against you, but it is a pity that you angered her away, sigh. Yi Yuanqing sighed lightly and took a glance at Yi Yan. In the end, he is still a youngster. Can't I change to another one? Aunt, don't make things difficult for me, there are definitely girls like that. Yi Yan said seriously. Asking me to beg her again, where is my face? If I lose my face, isn't that the same as losing my dad's face? Even if I have to jump off a cliff, I will not beg her. Yi Yuanqing shook her head, Nephew, do you think that any random girl will be able to pass? No matter if it is her appearance or her character, Chuyu is top-notch. If sister-in-law sees her, she will definitely be very happy. Yi Yan did not say anything. Indeed, I still have to consider my parents' taste. In any case, I am also an older brother, how can I be worse than God Yi? Although she is just an actress, she must still be a professional actress. Is she really good-looking? Yi Yan said softly. Yi Yuanqing covered her mouth and chuckled. Yi Yan said helplessly, Aunt, everyone loves beauty. It's normal. Didn't you say you were acting? Why do you care about your looks? Of course. After all, everyone in our family is so good-looking. Auntie is also beautiful. Yi Yan immediately flattered, making Yi Yuanqing very happy. After all, she was an empress, and no one dared to praise her so directly. At least you know how to talk. But to be honest, I've never seen Chuyu's looks before. She's from another plane's royal family, and she's even a princess. Her beauty is second to none. Don't worry, I won't harm you. Holy sh*t, and she's the princess of another plane. This title isn't bad. Does this count as a friendship between the two countries? Looks like I, Yi Yan, will have to contribute as soon as I return. So that's how it is, and but I have already angered her to that extent, would she still help me? Yi Yan was a little uncertain. If he knew that he was looking for someone else, then he should keep a low profile. Don't make her angry. It was really the will of the heavens. Yi Yuanqing patted onto Yi Yan's shoulder, Nephew, Chuyu is very interested in our family, do you understand? Yi Yan instantly understood. This Chuyu is indeed an envoy, but she also wants to find out about Yi family's situation. That's why Chuyu's current request was exactly what she wanted. Hee aunt, you are too good, hurry up and go, if not she will really leave. Alright, then aunt will leave first. After I pacify my mother, I will come and thank aunt. We are a family, why are you being so polite? Don't bully Chuyu, do you understand? Don't worry, aunt. Yi Yan waved his hand and immediately ran out. Yi Yuanqing laughed lightly and immediately contacted his big brother. Why did Yan look for you? Yi Hua asked faintly. Big brother, Yan asked me to find a girlfriend for him to coax sister-in-law. And then? Didn't I just happen to have a girl who is both talented and virtuous, so I introduced her to Yi Yan. Big brother, I feel that they are quite compatible, do you want to try matchmaking them? Is she reliable? Big brother, don't worry, she is just rather curious about our Yi family. The girl is very nice and gentle, she is a princess from another plane. And I will take a look at her when the time comes. I have troubled you regarding Yen Er's matter. Big brother, what are you saying? Yen Er is also my nephew, I still have to worry about things that I should be worried about. However, big brother, you and sister-in-law, don't mention them, just hearing about them makes me angry. Yi Hua said gravely. Alright big brother, don't get angry and harm your body, we are all family. Yi Hua let out a light sigh, I have something to do here, when I am free, I will come over and accompany mother to have a meal. And I understand. Cutting off the voice transmission, Yi Yuanqing rubbed his forehead. Big brother's family matter sure is a bit troublesome. Right now, Yi Yan still didn't know that the matter of finding an actress had already been discovered by Yi Hua and was currently chasing after the carriage. Luckily, they didn't go too far and didn't leave the palace. Wait. Yi Yan immediately blocked in front of the carriage, startling the horse and causing it to let out a neigh. A cold voice came out from within the carriage, Son of Prince Yi, are you thinking of killing me in the palace? Yi Yan really wanted this Chuyu to change her way of addressing him, but right now, I have a favor to ask of her, no matter how angry I am, I have to endure it. Thus, Yi Yan's tensed face smiled and entered into the carriage, vulgar, you are a girl, and the moment you open your mouth, it is so unharmonious, isn't it? Don't be so mischievous here. Chuyu said lightly. Yi Yan, damn it, if it wasn't because I have a favor to ask of you, do I need to be so mischievous here? About that, actually. I feel that, the weather today is really good. Yi Yan wanted to say, but no matter what, he couldn't say it. This is too embarrassing, I should have let my aunt speak on my behalf. You have something you need my help with? Chuyu asked lightly. Just now, after scolding at Yi Yan, he came over to block the carriage and even has a mischievous smile on his face, he definitely has a favor to ask of me. F***K. Am I that obvious? Yi Yan laughed out loud, using his laughter to cover up his awkwardness, there is indeed such a small matter. Son of Prince Yi, don't tell me that you shouldn't apologize to me for what happened in the past. What? What is what? You are scolding me again. Chuyu said angrily. Does this son of Prince Yi like to bully people that much? If I turn around, I'll jump off the city wall. After quite a while, inside the carriage, Yi Yan said, beautiful lady, just help me, really, please. Yi Yan, never beg anyone. Yi Yan was really defeated by this woman. Not in terms of force, but in terms of mentality. She was indeed the girl that his aunt liked. She was so stable and would definitely not give herself away in front of his parents. Prince Ye's son, I'm also an innocent woman. I'll pretend to be your wife and go home with you. Once you've done your job, what about my reputation? It can't be, you want me to marry you? The corner of Chuyu's mouth twitched. She wished that she could just kick Yi Yan and put aside her recuperation. You're thinking too much. It's good that you're not. If you have any requests, feel free to tell me. If I can satisfy it, I will satisfy all of them. Chiyu lightly rubbed her chin, then looked at Yi Yan and asked faintly, if you can tell me on what basis should I help you, I will promise you. On the basis that you are interested in my family. Yi Yan directly said. This caused Chiyu to go into a daze for a moment. After quite a while, she said, as expected of Prince Ye's son, I can promise you, but you have to promise me a few things. Tell me. I have already pretended to cooperate with you, but after we go to your family, you have to give me a detailed introduction. During this period of time, we are only pretending, and there cannot be any physical contact. Yi Yan was speechless. Big brother, pretending to be husband and wife without any physical contact. Who would believe that? That will depend on the situation. If you do something excessive, even if I die, I will expose your conspiracy. Damn, isn't it just pretending to be husband and wife? You are making it seem like I am trying to usurp the throne. Relax, I am not interested in you. Yi Yan took a glance at Chiyu. She was wrapped up tightly, and nothing could be seen on her body. However, Aunt said that her looks are not bad, as long as she is around the same as God Ye's wife, it will be fine. If I surpass her, it would seem like I am acting cool, haha, it better be like that. In the past, there have been men who said that before, but in the end, she really smells good. Yi Yan's jaw was about to drop onto the ground. Are you sure that this isn't someone from the same hometown? Relax, even if I die, I will not do anything to you. Yi Yan patted his chest and said seriously. When are we going? We are going now. However, before that, we still have to discuss how we got to know each other. If not, if we ask about something that doesn't match up, that won't do. Chiyu nodded her head, agreeing with Yi Yan. I will bring you around Wushu Empire first. Have you been there before? Yi Yan asked curiously. Yes. Thinking about it, you will go there too. Tonight, I will bring you around the Imperial Palace. After hearing that, Chiyu became a bit nervous. After all, this is Prince Ye's house, and I didn't expect that I would be able to enter it this way. I have heard about it before, and now that I am able to see it with my own eyes, I am nervous and excited. Can you promise me one thing? Yi Yan said solemnly. What thing? Don't call me Prince Ye's son anymore, just call me Brother Yan, alright? This kind of request was not too much, so Chiyu nodded her head and agreed. Then, since we are going to disguise ourselves, are you going to take off your veil? I have to take a look as well, if not, if someone asks me, I won't even know what you look like. You can be at ease, I am still very confident in my looks, I will not make you lose face. Chiyu said lightly. Seems like she is indeed very confident in this aspect. Yi Yan did not force her, alright, but don't trick me. If you don't make me angry, I naturally won't trick you. Fortunately, that is not true. Yi Yan let out a light sigh. If I have a wife like this, I will really have a big headache. It is not good to be too smart, sometimes, it is cuter for a woman to pretend to be stupid. Chiyu naturally heard what Yi Yan said, and she snorted coldly. The two directly went to Wushu Empire. Yi Yan and Chiyu also talked about how they got to know each other, and so on and so forth. Only after both of their testimonies matched up did Yi Yan feel at ease and bring Chiyu into the Imperial Palace. However, Yi Yan was also a bit nervous. If my disguise is seen through, I will be dead. Chapter 1342. At night, our whole family will be sitting together for dinner. Yi Yan said in a low voice as he walked in the palace with Chiyu. Is there anyone else? Chiyu asked in a low voice. My dad, 4 moms, my big sister, my younger brothers and sisters, and also my grandma. Originally, my uncle's family would be here as well, but something happened today, and it's not a good thing. You will know about it in the future. Yi Yan didn't want to go into details. This should also be considered as a family scandal. So, it's better not to spread it out. This Chuyu is still an outsider, not one of us. Of course, Chuyu knew that Prince Yi had a younger brother, but hearing that there was a scandal, she was also quite curious. Seems like as long as one is a woman, one would have a gossipy heart. However, she was also curious about Yi Yan's brothers and sisters. Prince Ye's son, the situation in your family is indeed a bit complicated. Yi Yan felt a headache. Didn't we agree on how to address each other? Brother Yan, I'm sorry, I'm not used to it. Chuyu said softly, sounding very pleasant. Yi Yan liked this kind of tone, nice to hear, gentle enough. 100 times gentler than his mother's tone. It's really nice to hear you speak with this kind of tone. As a standard scumbag, Yi Yan naturally knew how to coax a girl. However, Chuyu was a child that was a few hundred years old, and had a lot of experience. It wasn't like she hadn't seen this kind of scumbag before. Men are all the type that talk glibly, especially those like Yi Yan. They are very unreliable. What kind of tone I use when I speak will depend on what kind of attitude you have. Alright, take it that I didn't say anything. However, can you take off your veil now? Do you want to run in front of my parents like this? Yi Yan was actually very curious about Chuyu's appearance. His aunt said that she was a super beauty, but he didn't know if it was true or not. The custom of my hometown is like this: girls that are not married cannot take off their veil. Chuyu didn't lie to Yi Yan, this was a custom that couldn't be violated. Then, you can't be eating like this too, right? Later on, my parents will definitely ask you to take off your veil. Yi Yan said seriously. After speaking for a while, he continued, if you don't take off your veil, my parents will think that you are not giving them face, and the situation will be even worse. I'll decide based on the situation, Chuyu said helplessly. It doesn't depend on the situation. It has to be. I'm not joking with you. My family isn't as simple as you think, especially when it comes to the marriage of our generation. Yi Yan emphasized again and again. Don't pretend. Don't pretend and cause trouble. Chuyu nodded. I understand. Alright, let's go. Yi Yan stretched out his hand and held on to Chuyu's small hand. It feels, not bad. Chuyu's small hand is soft, and it feels very comfortable to hold on to. Chuyu frowned but didn't say anything in the end. In order to see the legendary Yi family, the price she paid was quite big. Soon, the two of them arrived at Lu Jing's chamber. Chuyu could vaguely see the figures inside, and they were all sitting together. Yi Yan was a little nervous. After all, this was a fake. It would be a little difficult to fool his parents. He hoped that nothing would go wrong tonight. Chuyu, hold on. Your palms are sweating. Yi Yan, this Chuyu sure knows how to adjust the atmosphere. Yi Yan became a little more relaxed as he held on to Chuyu's hand and walked into the main hall. Right now, Yi Hua's entire family was sitting together. The atmosphere didn't seem to be very good, and no one spoke. Seeing this atmosphere, Yi Yan felt a chill. If I were to be exposed, the situation would become even more depressing. Yi Yan tightened his grip on Chuyu's small hand, seemingly trying to cheer for Chuyu. However, Chuyu was currently even calmer than Yi Yan. To Chuyu, when she saw the legendary Lord Yi and such a large family, her heart surged. Ever since she heard about Yi family, she became incomparably curious. Just what kind of person was able to overthrow the rule of a deity? Look at Lord Yi, that domineering aura between his brows, that is the aura of a ruler that he was born with. Also, the woman beside him, she truly made me feel inferior. This will be my future goal. Grandma, Dad, mothers, I'm back. Yi Yan stood at the entrance and shouted out respectfully. Chuyu, who was at the side, immediately became nervous, because everyone was looking at her. Even Dong Huangli was very surprised. This Yan, where did he find such an actress in less than a day's time? Furthermore, he even appeared with a veil on. Doesn't he know that this is disrespectful? Idiot. Are you trying to make Dad happy, or are you trying to make Dad unhappy? Who dares to wear a veil in front of Dad? Yi Lu was the same. Where did Big Brother find such an actress? Who dares to wear a veil in front of Dad? Yi Lu was the same as well. Where did Big Brother find such an actress? It can't be that he bought her with money, right? If Mom were to find out about this, wouldn't she spank your butt? God, Yi looked at Big Brother and was very puzzled. How did he suddenly get a girlfriend? Did he hide it so deeply? Lu Xian's thoughts were different. Finally, there is someone that I can communicate with. Lu Jing was of course very happy when she saw this. She couldn't wait to have a house full of children and grandchildren. Although I can't see her face, just by standing there, I can feel a kind of gentleness and even a kind of amiable and approachable feeling. This kind of girl is indeed not bad. From the looks of it, her family background should be pretty good. I wonder how does she look like? Yi Hua looked at Chuyu. Yi Hua looked at Chuyu. So this is my younger sister's matchmaking? The girl looks not bad, but wearing a veil, it seems like she is not giving me face at all. As a junior, seeing that an elder is still wearing a veil, Yi Hua would naturally be a bit unhappy. Yi Yan seemed to be able to sense his father's unhappiness. I knew that this veil shouldn't be worn, you just didn't listen to me, stupid woman, that. Dad, Mom, this is my girlfriend, Chiyu. Previously, I was embarrassed to bring her back, but today, I finally brought her back. Don't misunderstand, there is a rule in Chiyu's hometown, this unmarried girl cannot take off her veil. Yi Yan hurriedly explained. I can't let Dad and Mom be unhappy. I was already unhappy to begin with, if I make things worse, that would not be good. Hearing that, Yi Hua asked faintly, unmarried girl. Cannot take off her veil. Yan, in that case, even you have never seen her before. Yi Yan was immediately speechless. Dad attacked so quickly. So ferocious. Thus, Yi Yan directly touched Chuyu's palm. Who asked you to act cool? Look at what happened now. At this moment, Chuyu said respectfully, Prince Yi, Chuyu has been rude. However, this is the rule of my hometown, Chuyu has no choice. Brother Yan and I are truly in love with each other, this is a heart-to-heart communication. Yi Hua knew about the inside story. Towards Chuyu's reply, he was rather satisfied. However, you two little things, you are actually faking it in such a dignified way. Chapter 1343. You guys are really not putting me, your father, in your eyes, then I can only let you guys give birth to a child to apologize to me. Yi Yan was startled. Who are you trying to bluff? Heart-to-heart communication, so you didn't even blink when lying. Yan, you two have never even seen Chuyu's face before. Qingye asked in shock. This is too exaggerated, could it be that this is true love? Dong Huangli almost laughed out. Can the two of you be a bit more serious, at least check your statements before coming here. Looking at the situation, it seems like both of you didn't check your statements properly. Towards his mother's question and answer, Yi Yan could only brace himself and say, Mom, Yan, do I look like the kind of man who would judge a book by its cover? I like Chuyu's inner beauty. Puchi, Yi Lu couldn't hold it in anymore and laughed out. Liking other people's inner beauty, Yi Yan glared at his sister. If not for you, would your brother have done such a thing? I even begged her to pretend to be Chuyu, what a loss. Lu, Qingye called out in a low voice. Sorry Mom, Lu, I forgot myself. Yi Lu hurriedly apologized. Under normal circumstances, Yi Lu, wouldn't laugh unless I couldn't hold it in anymore. Dong Huang Baiji laughed. Come and sit down first, Chiyu, don't be restrained, since Yan brought you into the house, from now on, we are a family. Yi Yan let out a sigh of relief and pulled Chiyu to sit down first. This can be considered as passing the first test. At this moment, Lu Jing asked kindly, Yan, how did you two get to know each other? Before Yi Yan finished speaking, Yi Hua asked faintly, Lu, do you know that your brother is looking for a girlfriend? Yi Yan thought to himself, this is bad, Lu, if you were to trick me today, even if I become a ghost, I won't let you off. Yi Lu's heart sunk, his mind was frantically trying to pretend that he understood. Right now, Yi Lu's IQ was increasing at a rocket speed. The truth proved that, when a person is lying, their IQ is like Einstein. I don't know. Yi Lu said lightly and gave a very good answer. Yi Yan let out a sigh of relief. Luckily, I didn't trick my brother. Yi Hua asked, tell me, how did you hide it? Yi Yan prepared to tell her. Yan, I'm not asking you to say it, I'm asking your wife to say it. Yi Hua said faintly. He was already referring to Chiyu as his son's wife. This made Chiyu a little embarrassed, but she still followed the plan. That was 2 years ago. Back then, Brother Yan was training. At that time, I met a few bad guys. Fortunately, Brother Yan appeared in time. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. After hearing that, Yi Hua let out a sigh in his heart. Can't the two of you come up with an interesting meeting scene? This kind of melodramatic plot, your old man, I, have long stopped using it. Yi Yan added, at first, I didn't have any feelings for Chiyu. I am the one who is faking it, even if I die, I have to finish faking it. Wow, when did this happen? Qin Yutong asked curiously, however, the question was directed towards Chiyu. Chiyu didn't know what to say anymore. This shameless Yi Yan. He is definitely taking revenge on me. However, what else can I do right now? This is just like that saying, a small lie, in the end, I have to use even more lies to cover it up. It has already been a month. Chiyu said with a bashful tone. That's why I directly brought her back. Yi Yan added. After hearing that, Yi Hua nodded his head, not bad, she is pregnant. Shen you two have to work hard as well. God Yi went into a daze for a moment, then hurriedly said, Daddy, Xian, and I are currently working hard. Lu Xian pinched God Yi ferociously under the table. What work hard? You liar, you tricked me into your house, then took possession of me. Yi Hua's child is born with the attribute of possessiveness. Dong Wang Baiji looked at her son and seemed to be saying, look at your brother, he only brought her home after getting pregnant, you should do the same. Qingye said tenderly, Chiyu, since the two of you have already developed to such a stage, can you take off this veil and let everyone take a look at you? Chiyu had already said it to this extent, what else could Chiyu do? Chiyu could be seen slowly raising her hand and taking off the veil. Everyone was curious about what Yi Yan's girlfriend looked like, even Yi Yan himself was curious. Seeing that Yi Yan had such a big reaction, Chuyu's face became even redder. This Yi Yan. He definitely did this on purpose to make me look bad. You said that you will take care of me and the child, and all you know is to eat by yourself. Chuyu immediately launched a counterattack. Since Piaomiao's child has already been brought out, then I will properly bring out the child. Child, just what did I do wrong? I am not even an egg yet, and you are already starting to use me to make a fuss. Are there any parents like you too? Qingye felt a headache coming on. I nearly forgot that Qiyu is the flesh and blood of a son, Yin, You are also someone who is going to be a father. No matter what, you have to learn to take care of people, don't be impatient, get rid of your previous bad habits. I. Yi Yen stuttered for a while, but still couldn't think of anything to refute. It is all my fault, why did I have to say that I am pregnant? Great, if I didn't treat her well, I would have said that. Don't think that just because you are beautiful, you can do whatever you want. Yi Yen, will fall for this. What do you want to eat? Yi Yen said petulantly. After hearing that, Qingye became unhappy. Why is this tone of yours the same as that scoundrel father of yours? My son cannot become the second Yihua. Yin, Is this your attitude? Yi Yen, Mom, what other attitude can I have? This is a fake, the person is fake, the child is also fake. Auntie, it's fine, I am already used to it. What a ruthless woman Yi Yen, have finally experienced it today. I regret, I shouldn't have brought you home, right now, I have shot myself in the foot. Chuyu, call me Mom, in the future, Mom will take care of you, if this fellow dares to bully you, Mom will break his leg. Yi Yen was stupefied, this brat is already calling me Mom, and she still wants to take care of me. Chapter 1346. Following Yihua's words, the entire world seemed to have quietened down. Although Yihua was angry, he didn't say those words out of anger. Instead, it seemed to be the result that he came up with after careful consideration. However, it wasn't the result after consideration. Nobody knew whether those words were said out of anger or something else. But no matter what it was, it still shocked everyone. Thinking about it was one thing, but if His Honor were to really say it out loud, the effect would be different. The subordinates that were outside didn't say anything. For things to develop to this point, it was completely what the two madams wanted. There was nothing to persuade them, His Honor wasn't that easy to talk to. The children in the house were all shocked. After being away for 12 years, this is the second day, their parents were about to separate. They couldn't accept such a thing at all. Now they didn't know what to say at all. Qing Yutong and Qian Yuqing were very shocked, but they also knew in their hearts that this was the result of forcing Yihua to do something. Qingye and Dong Huang Baiji didn't expect that Yihua would really say it out loud. In actuality, this was not the result that they wanted, they only wanted to listen to Yihua's explanation and receive the concern of a husband, that's all. However, they had neglected an important question, and that was, concern should be mutual, why should it only be the man who is concerned? As a woman, if she couldn't even care about her husband, what qualifications did she have to ask her husband to do something? At the very least, this was what Yihua was thinking in his heart. In the past, I accommodated you all and allowed you all to have a little temper. However, this kind of temper is not something that can be endured for a long time. For this woman, you actually want to abandon us. Qingye pointed at the woman at the side and said gravely while looking at Yihua. This was the ability of women to twist the truth. She clearly didn't care about other people's affairs, but she could still drag them into it. This was the scariest part about women, they were unreasonable. But reasoning with a woman is also a mistake. Yihua didn't want to talk about these useless things with them at all, since we have already come to a decision, then let's part on good terms. Following Yihua's words, Qingye and Donghuang Baiqi revealed a kind of expression in their eyes. This kind of expression was filled with indignation, and even more so, fear. However, at this moment, the door was pushed open again. Daji supported Lu Jing and slowly walked in. When Yihua saw that his mother had arrived, he called out lightly, "Mother." Lu Jing nodded and looked at the situation. She had just said it last night, but she didn't expect it to still blow up. It was even to the extent that the whole city knew about it. "Mother." Qin Yutong and Qian Yuqing called out lightly. Grandma. Seeing that their mother was crying out loud without caring about her image, the children walked forward and consoled their mother. Although their mouths were saying words of consolation, in their hearts, they were thinking, "Isn't this all because of you too? We can clearly be happy together, but mother, you too insist on increasing the difficulty." Soon after, His Honor's subordinates left as well. I wonder what His Honor is thinking. However, looking at His Honor's attitude just now, he doesn't seem to be that ruthless. His Honor's mother is still the formidable one, to be able to settle everything with just a sentence or two. Although His Honor's words weren't ruthless, this time, it was His Honor's wife's turn. If His Honor's wife is willing to lower her head, then things would be easy to settle. If His Honor's wife is still not willing to lower her head and still wants to argue with His Honor, then there would really be no hope left. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji cried for a very long time, then left with the children. Using Donghuang Li's words, "Right now, father and mother both need to calm down, and for the time being, they shouldn't meet each other, lest they start scolding each other the moment they see each other." Sigh, I really didn't expect that big brother and big sister-in-law would actually quarrel to this extent. Yi Juetian didn't return back to the palace in a hurry, and he brought along Gong Yu and walked around the city. Gong Yu hugged onto Yi Juetian's arm very tightly. Big brother and big sister-in-law's relationship was indeed very good in the past, but as time passes, no matter how strong the relationship is, it will eventually fade. Yi Juetian went into a daze, and Yi couldn't help but appear in his mind. From start to finish, my feelings towards Yi have never faded, even after so many years have passed. As for Gong Yu, who is beside me right now, perhaps, it's only because of our children, that's why we are together. Yi Juetian didn't know anymore, and right now, his mind was in a bit of a mess. Gong Yu didn't react at all, but that didn't mean that Yi Juetian didn't react. After all, he had trained outside for so long, and this kind of killing intent was already a common thing. Facing such a situation, Yi Juetian stood still and did not move, because there was no need for him to move. He would be able to block the attack with just his aura. The tip of the sword seemed to pierce through the air, emitting an ear-piercing sword cry. The thunder is loud but the rain is small. This was the portrayal of the current situation. The tip of the sword was still a fist's length away from Yi Juetian's forehead when it stopped moving. It was completely blocked by a vicious aura. "Who are you? Why do you want to kill me?" Yi Juetian asked curiously. To be able to remain calm in the face of such an assassination meant that Yi Juetian had indeed matured. "You heartless man. I will take revenge for Meng Yao today." Everyone was dumbfounded by Meng Li's words. Heartbreaker. The emperor's younger brother was a heartless man. Who was that Meng Yao? From the looks of it, the royal family was really in a mess. Just a moment ago, the royal family was still in martial law. Presumably, something happened to the emperor. Right now, the emperor's own younger brother actually became a heartless person. This is clearly messing around. If not, why would other people raise their swords and charge at the royal family with no regard for their lives, seemingly wanting to perish together with the royal family? Gong Yu rarely left the palace, and even to the extent that Gong Yu didn't know Meng Li, but after hearing Meng Li's words, Gong Yu knew that this woman's concern for Yi wasn't shallow. It's over. Absolute heaven is going to know about it. I didn't expect that on the second day after I returned, Zhu Tian would find out about it. I thought that I would be able to hide it from Zhu Tian for a few years, and by then, Zhu Tian would have forgotten about it. At this moment, Yi Juetian was frozen stiff. That single sentence had revealed too much information. Meng Yao. Wasn't it just Yi? To avenge Meng Yao, kill a heartless man like him. In order to avenge Yi. Yi Juetian's eyes instantly turned red, and killing intent uncontrollably emitted out from his body. A huge sea of blood seemed to have appeared behind him, and the long sword in Meng Li's hand instantly turned into dust. Speak. What? What happened to Yi? Yi Juetian grabbed onto Meng Li's wrist and questioned coldly. An overflowing anger was swelling up in his heart, and it seemed like it would explode at any moment. You still have the face to ask. Meng Yao is already dead. She had already died 12 years ago. These words were just like a bolt from the blue, seemingly wanting to strike Yi Juetian down. Yi is dead. How is that possible? Yi is so strong, how is it possible for her to die? I am still waiting for Yi to call out to me. I have been waiting all this while, 12 years ago. That is something that happened right after I left the palace. Impossible. This is definitely impossible. You lied to me. Yi won't die. Yi Juetian seemed as if he had gone mad, his face was already distorted to the extreme. He was grabbing onto Meng Li's wrist until it turned white, and his gaze was filled with killing intent. It was as if he was saying, if you don't make things clear today, don't even think about seeing tomorrow's sun. Meng Li looked at Yi Juetian coldly. I really feel that it's not worth it to mention Meng Li. There's only such a man, and you are actually thinking about him. Looking at Meng Li's gaze, Yi Juetian's expression became even darker. He turned his head and looked towards Gong Yu. She lied to me, right? Gong Yu originally planned to hide it, but after seeing Yi Juetian's current state, her heart felt very painful. She directly said, she didn't lie to you. Not long after you left, Yi died. You knew? Yi Juetian asked in disbelief, and his entire body seemed as if it was going to collapse. Back then, Yi had already died once, and it was right in front of his eyes. Luckily, Yi was only out for training, and she didn't really die. However, today, it was different. That's right, I know. Zhu Tian. Yi has already died for many years. Gong Yu didn't want to hide it anymore. It was fine if Zhu Tian didn't come back, but ever since he came back yesterday, this question had been lingering in her heart, making her feel very uncomfortable. Yi Juetian slowly let go of Meng Li, then pressed onto Gong Yu's shoulders with his hands. Why? Why didn't you tell me yesterday? You are still the same as before. There isn't a single bit of change in you. Chuyu frowned but didn't say anything in the end. In order to see the legendary Yi family, the price she paid was quite big. Soon, the two of them arrived at Lu Jing's chamber. Chuyu could vaguely see the figures inside, and they were all sitting together. Yi Yan was a little nervous. After all, this was a fake. It would be a little difficult to fool his parents. He hoped that nothing would go wrong tonight. Chuyu, hold on. Your palms are sweating. Yi Yan, this Chuyu sure knows how to adjust the atmosphere. Yi Yan became a little more relaxed as he held on to Chuyu's hand and walked into the main hall. Right now, Yi Hua's entire family was sitting together. The atmosphere didn't seem to be very good, and no one spoke. Seeing this atmosphere, Yi Yan felt a chill. If I were to be exposed, the situation would become even more depressing. Yi Yan tightened his grip on Chuyu's small hand, seemingly trying to cheer for Chuyu. However, Chuyu was currently even calmer than Yi Yan. To Chuyu, when she saw the legendary Lord Yi and such a large family, her heart surged. Ever since she heard about Yi family, she became incomparably curious. Just what kind of person was able to overthrow the rule of a deity? Look at Lord Yi, that domineering aura between his brows, that is the aura of a ruler that he was born with. Also, the woman beside him, she truly made me feel inferior. This will be my future goal. Grandma, Dad, Mothers, I'm back. Yi Yen stood at the entrance and shouted out respectfully. Chuyu, who was at the side, immediately became nervous, because everyone was looking at her. Dong Huangli was also very surprised. This Yen, where did he find such an actress in less than a day's time? Furthermore, he even appeared so mysteriously, wearing a veil. Doesn't he know that this is disrespectful? Idiot! Are you trying to make Dad happy or make Dad unhappy? Who dares to wear a veil in front of Dad? Yi Lu was the same as well. Where did Big Brother find such an actress? It can't be that he bought her with money, right? If Mom were to find out about this, wouldn't she spank your butt? God, Yi looked at Big Brother and was very confused. How did he suddenly get a girlfriend? Did he hide it so deeply? Lu Xian's thoughts were different. Finally, there is someone that I can communicate with. Lu Jing was of course very happy when she saw this, and she couldn't wait to have a house full of children and grandchildren. Although I can't see the face of the girl, just by standing there, I can feel a kind of gentle feeling, and even a kind of amiable feeling. This kind of girl is indeed not bad. From the looks of it, her family background should be pretty good. I wonder how does she look like? Yi Hua looked at Chuyu. So this is my younger sister's matchmaking? The girl looks not bad, but wearing a veil doesn't seem to be giving me face. As a junior, seeing that an elder is still wearing a veil, Yi Hua would naturally be a bit unhappy. Yi Yen seemed to be able to sense his father's unhappiness. I knew that this veil shouldn't be worn, but you just didn't listen, stupid woman, that. Dad, Mom, this is my girlfriend, Chuyu. I was embarrassed to bring her back before, but I finally brought her back today. Don't misunderstand, there is a rule in Chuyu's hometown, unmarried girls cannot remove their veil. Yi Yen hurriedly explained. I can't let Dad and Mom be unhappy. They were already unhappy to begin with, and if things become worse, that would not be good. Hearing that, Yi Hua asked faintly, unmarried girl cannot remove her veil. Yen, in that case, even you have never seen her before. Yi Yen was immediately speechless. Dad attacked so quickly. So ferocious. Thus, Yi Yen directly touched Chuyu's palm. Who asked you to act cool? Look at what happened now. At this moment, Chuyu said respectfully, Prince Yi, Chuyu has been rude, but this is the rule of my hometown, Chuyu can't do anything about it. Brother Yen and I are truly in love with each other, and this is a heart-to-heart communication. Yi Hua knew the inside story, and towards Chuyu's reply, he was rather satisfied. However, you two little things, you are actually faking it in such a dignified manner. Chapter 1358. Mom, I am your biological son, I am not that kind of son that is given to you as a gift. Mom, I didn't bully her, she was just pretending. Chuyu slightly lowered her head, I didn't dare, I was afraid that he would hit me. Yi Hua wanted to praise Chuyu. This girl is not bad, this plot is not bad, this is a bit interesting. What? Yi Yen. How can you hit your wife? Other people even gave birth to your child, but your father didn't even do this to you. Yi Hua's expression sunk. Does this count as me being unjustly implicated? Mom, I didn't hit her, I really didn't hit her. Yi Yen hurriedly explained. This old woman, just you wait for me, young Master Yi. Chuyu revealed out that kind of expression of daring to say but also not daring to say, she is simply a drama queen. As expected, in Yi family, acting is an essential skill. However, right now, Yi Yen was completely speechless. Why is your expression so rich? If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have brought her home even if I was beaten to death. And, we have only met for the first time, and you already gave your nephew such a big gift. This is simply a huge trap. Chuyu, if you have anything to say, just say it, I want to see how bad this little bastard is. Mom, my God, this feeling is so good that it's going to explode. Dong Huang Baiji was envious, my daughter-in-law hasn't even called me mom yet. Lu Xian'er felt a bit dizzy. My God, just what should I do? God Yi is the same, big brother is completely stirring up trouble. Dong Huangli was about to roll over from laughing in her heart. This matter is becoming more and more interesting. Good child, Mom will stand up for you. I don't dare, I'm afraid that he will bully me. Yi Yan really wants to bully Chuyu right now. Didn't I just say a few words at my aunt's place, and she is repaying kindness with enmity? Can't she be reasonable? I have even forgotten about it, how can I be reasonable with a woman, Chuyu? Yi Yan gave a serious warning. Don't go overboard. Yi Yan. You sit down. Qingye shouted out gravely. This is too outrageous, to actually shout at a pregnant woman, you are just like your father. Back then, didn't you shout at me like this too? At that time, I was also pregnant, the more I think about it, the angrier I get. Seeing that his mother was really angry, Yi Yan immediately stopped talking. A good hand had turned into a bad hand. Chuyu seemed to have felt it as well, and immediately stopped talking. However, in Qingye's eyes, Chuyu seemed to be very scared. She is simply like a girl who is being abused at home. She is truly pitiful. She is even more formidable than your father. Speak, Chuyu. Mom, it's nothing. It's really nothing. I'm just talking nonsense. Following Chuyu's explanation, Yi Yan directly covered his forehead. You really want to F*King kill me? Look at your expression. Qingye asked gravely, could it be that he is looking for a girl outside? I've made you angry. Ah. He's still looking for girls outside. Chuyu exclaimed. Alright, everyone was speechless. This mother was really good at tricking her son. Poor Yi Yan, what a tragedy. Dong Huangli really wanted to leave the auditorium. She wanted to laugh loudly outside for 5 minutes before coming back in. A smile could be seen on the corner of Yi Hua's mouth. This Qingye, how can you screw your son over like this? Qingye seemed to have realized it as well, and she felt a bit awkward. The atmosphere seemed to have quietened down. Yi Yan hurriedly picked up some food and passed it to Chuyu. My mother is just talking nonsense, be good, don't be angry. Chuyu turned her head away and ignored Yi Yan. She is simply a movie empress level expert, even Qing Yutong admires her. Yi Yan secretly pulled Chuyu, meaning that it's enough, give me a way out of this embarrassing situation. Chuyu naturally knew that it was enough, and she silently picked up her chopsticks. This made everyone let out a sigh of relief. This is much better. Chuyu, eat more, don't be polite. Okay, Mom. Chuyu said tenderly, causing Qingye to be very happy. This caused Dong Huang Baiji to directly look towards her son, seemingly saying, let your wife call me Mom too. What is God Yi trying to do? Lu Xian'er had no other choice. I have already boarded the pirate ship, is there still a chance for me to get off? That is impossible. That is why I have to please my mother-in-law. Mom, eat. Lu Xian'er took the initiative to pick up some food and passed it to Dong Huang Baiji, and even called out sweetly, causing Dong Huang Baiji to be extremely happy. Good child, you eat more too. What else could Chuyu do? Since others have already done it, although I am pretending, I still have to do it properly. Thus, Chuyu also picked up some food and passed it to Qingye. Mom, you eat more too. Alright, you are both good children. Qingye smiled to the point that even her gums were revealed. Yi Hua shook his head. You two are too exaggerated. But then again, only calling me Mom and not Dad. that means that you are not giving me face. Aren't you afraid that I, the Supreme Overlord, will make things difficult for you too? Dad, you eat more too. Yihua was gratified that the two girls who had never married into his family started to curry favor with him. Of course, there was also Lu Jing. Lu Jing was grinning from year to year. The day of having many children and grandchildren is just around the corner. The meal was very harmonious, and Yi Yan's goal was also achieved. Yi Yan felt much more at ease. Father and mother no longer quarreled, and their relationship seemed to have stabilized. Yihua placed down his chopsticks and said faintly, "Chiyu, since you are pregnant, take good care of the fetus in the future. One of my subordinates' medical skills is not bad, let him take a look and prescribe some medicine for you." Yi Yan and Chiyu immediately froze. If this lie is discovered, father will definitely fly into a rage. Not only father, mother will also feel the same way. Just that, the two children still did not know about their father's tricks and were currently frantically thinking about how they are going to get away from this. Dad, the child is very stable right now. It is fine to take a look at the child after a period of time. Chiyu could only stall for time. I never expected that the matter would come to this. Yi Yan hurriedly followed up and said, "Dad, what Chiyu said is right, the child is still very healthy right now. No matter how healthy a child is, they still need to take a look at the child. This will allow your mother and I to be at ease." Yihua's words seemed to be correct, causing Yi Yan to have an even bigger headache. Suddenly, Yi Yan looked towards his big sister. "Dad, big sister's medical skills are not bad, and big sister is also a girl, it will be more convenient for her to take a look at the child." "Big sister, I'm sorry. Since you dug a pit for little brother can only dig a pit for you. However, you must definitely help little brother, if not, daddy will beat the sh*t out of you. Qingya is definitely the same, it seems a bit inconvenient to let Qing Su go and take a look at the child. Just let Ali go and take a look at Chiyu." Dong Huang Baiji smiled tenderly. Dong Huangli nodded her head, "All right, I understand. After eating, I will go and take a look at the child, then tell father and mother about it." Yihua said in a low voice, "All right, I am already full, you two can slowly eat." Following Yihua's decision, Yi Yan said respectfully, "Mom, I will bring Chiyu to familiarize herself with the palace first. Big sister, let's take a walk together." Chapter 1359. Dong Huangli let out a light sigh. When you get into trouble, you only know to ask your big sister to clean up after you. Just how old are you now? The three of them walked out of Lu Jing's bedroom. When they thought they were far enough, Yi Yan and Chiyu instantly separated. "It's all your fault. It's all your fault." Dong Huangli looked at the two of them. The two of them actually have such a tacit understanding with each other. Dong Huangli feels that the two of them are rather compatible with each other. "Look at what you just said. I'm about to be scolded to death by my mother." Yi Yan began to lecture his wife. "Everyone, come and see. Aren't you trying to frame me? When did I have a child with you? I think you're up to no good. How did I not have good intentions? If it wasn't for you messing around, would I have said those words? Do you think that I wanted to? Anyway, it's all your fault. Think of a way yourself." "Ha! All my fault. Looking at your performance just now, I almost wanted to kneel down and call you mom, big brother." With a p sound, Dong Huangli, who was standing at the side, started laughing. "These two people are simply too funny, much more interesting than my little brother and his wife." "Sis, why are you still laughing? If you didn't trick me, would I be like this? Are you here to knock her up?" Dong Huangli replied, If big sister was a man, would be very happy to help you, little brother." Yi Yan, Chiyu, facing such a female hooligan, Yi Yan and Chuyu were speechless. Humph. Yi Yan and Chuyu turned their heads and did not look at each other. This angry look was very much like love. He's not dead. Following a voice, the few of them looked into the darkness. Those two ponytails were really iconic. Yi Zizi looked at Chuyu curiously. Didn't he die? Why did it appear again now? Hearing what Yi Zizi said, Dong Huangli and Yi Yan became even more curious about Yi's identity. Just who is Yi? Even Chuyu was very curious. Aunt Zizi, Dong Huangli shouted out sweetly, causing the corner of Yi Zizi's mouth to twitch. As long as Dong Huangli uses this kind of tone to speak to me, something bad will definitely happen. Yi Zizi immediately said, Ollie, speak properly. Don't use this tone. Aunt Zizi, can we talk about this girl called Yi? Yi Yan also jumped over and said with a smile, Aunt Zizi, tell us about it. Then who is she? Yi Zizi asked curiously. Yi Yan patted his chest and said, this woman is my woman. 66666. Yi Zizi immediately made a hand gesture to praise Yi. All the men of Yi family, seems like they all have some thoughts about this Yi. Since you want to know so much, let's talk somewhere else, Yi Zizi said softly. Upon hearing that there was hope, everyone immediately ran out of the imperial palace and arrived at a tea house. This decoration is really not bad, it has the style of sci-fi. Dong Huangli muttered while looking at the decoration. I drove it, Yi Zizi said softly. Dong Huangli and Yi Yan immediately rolled their eyes. So, Yi Yan is asking us to support him. We are just children, and we are the kind of children who don't have money. So it was opened by Auntie Zizi. How could I accept it? Sorry for making Auntie Zizi spend so much money. You can treat us, Yi Zizi said with a smile. Yi Yan, they walked into the private room on the second floor, and the tea was soon served. Just like that, the three stared at Yi Zizi and drank tea. Dong Huangli felt that, in the past, Yi Zizi often played games, and drinking tea didn't seem to be Yi Zizi's style. But looking at the current Yi Zizi, the feeling that Yi Zizi is giving people now is just like an adult. Auntie Zizi, just what is going on with that Yi? Yi Zizi took out a lollipop, then stretched it in front of Chuyu. Do you want to eat it? Aw. What is this? Lollipop, you liked to eat it a lot in the past. Yi Zizi said softly. Yi Yan was very speechless. In the past, it was always the uncles who held on to the lollipop, and now, it is the loli who held on to the lollipop. I have never eaten it in the past. Chuyu said confusedly. That's fine, you can try it. Oh, thank you. Chuyu took the lollipop, and it seems like she doesn't know how to peel the lollipop. Yi Yan took the lollipop and peeled off the wrapping paper on the lollipop. Here, eat less of it, your teeth might get cavities. Chuyu placed the lollipop in her mouth and lightly licked it with her tongue. A sweet taste immediately filled her mouth, causing Chuyu to be a bit surprised. Yi Yan wrinkled his brows as he looked at Chuyu's cheeks that were puffing up. You are able to come up with so many tricks to eat a lollipop. I'm afraid that you are crazily licking the lollipop from all directions. You are truly formidable. How is it? Very sweet, very delicious. Chuyu said gently. I don't know what this Auntie Zizi in front of me is trying to do. Seems like it really isn't Yi, it is a bit of a pity. Yi Zizi let out a light sigh. I and Yi are connected by the lollipop. If it is Yi who lost her memory, there would definitely be an abnormal reaction. Chuyu asked curiously, Auntie Zizi, why do you two want Yi to appear so much? That's right, Auntie Zizi, just who is this Yi? I can see that both father and mother seem to be a bit sad and regretful. Yi Zizi said gravely, sigh, Yi is also a pitiful woman. Not long after you two left, your father found his biological younger brother. At that time, after settling some matters, your father began to look for a wife for your uncle. Yi Yan clapped his hands. Oh. I got it. Yi is the wife that father found for my uncle. No. Yi Yan, idiot. Chuyu couldn't help but ridicule, angering Yi Yan to the point that he wanted to hold on to Chuyu and let her know that I am not that easy to bully. Don't think that just because you are pretty, I won't scold you. Chuyu. Don't think that just because you have pretty eyes, I don't dare to glare at you. Humph, the two of you, be quiet, don't talk. Dong Huangli said petulantly. If the two of you want to quarrel, go back to your room and quarrel. After finished speaking, Dong Huangli asked curiously, then, uncle's blind date is, that's right, in actuality, your uncle had already met with Yi a few days before the blind date, and both of them seemed to have developed a good impression of each other. And because your uncle was afraid that he would anger your father, he could only go along with Yi's wishes. That's why he chose Gong Yu to come over. In the end, Gong Yu is actually quite pitiful, mysteriously coming to this unfamiliar place. Then, why didn't uncle bring Yi to father? Yi Yan asked curiously. Yi Zizi laughed lightly, then took a sip of tea. They are well matched in terms of social status. Yi is just an ordinary person, other than being pretty, there is nothing else about her. Meanwhile, Gong Yu is someone that was meticulously chosen by your father, and naturally, she meets all of his requirements. Furthermore, before this, it was also your uncle who requested for the blind date. Chapter 1360. The children understood. When uncle didn't have a wife, he asked his father to introduce Yi to him, but when his father had already started, he bumped into Yi. After that, uncle didn't dare to tell his father about it, so he could only brace himself and introduce Yi to him. After hearing this, Chuyu seemed to have gained a better understanding of Yi family. I didn't expect that there would be such gossip in Yi family. And then, did uncle abandon Yi? Yi Yan hurriedly asked. After all, judging from the current situation, Yi was definitely an abandoned person. After all, Yi was left behind by Gong Yu, and Yi even had a child. Yi Zizi slowly told Yi Yan about what happened back then. The three youngsters were very fascinated by the story. Yi Zizi even added a sad tone into the story, making it seem as if it was a tragic story. Looking at Chuyu, she had already cried. Even Dong Huangli's eyes were red. Yi Yan slightly lowered his head, seemingly wiping the corners of his eyes. This kid has grown up, he likes to cry when he hears touching things. This is simply an eternal love story. All kinds of scenes of torturing people, this is too tragic. Yi is simply too tragic. Dong Huangli finally understood why uncle was so emotional today. So there was actually such a thing in the story. It would be great if they could be together. Chuyu said in a low voice. It is such a pity, two people who could clearly love each other ended up as strangers, and they didn't even have the chance to bid farewell to each other. Yi Zizi said faintly, some things cannot be forced. Your uncle was also at fault back then. He wasn't a man enough, he was afraid of this and that, causing Yi to suffer. Now that Yi is gone, don't mention it anymore. Dong Huangli and the others sat for a while, digesting this tragedy, then took their leave. The three walked on the street. They seemed to still be immersed in the story. Yi Yan and Chuyu walked side by side, and unknowingly, Yi Yan held on to Chuyu's little hand. Chuyu seemed to be thinking about a problem, and didn't resist. Just like that, the two returned to the palace hand in hand. After returning to the palace, Dong Huangli smiled and said, "Oh, after hearing a story, your fingers are tightly clasped. Damn it. Chuyu. You're taking advantage of me." Yi Yan reacted and immediately flung Chuyu's hand away. Chuyu's gaze turned cold. Say that again. Tisk. Yi Yan expressed, I can't be bothered to lower myself to your level. Alright, it's already quite late, the two of you should go back and rest. I will go and talk to Mom and Dad, however, I can only hide this matter from Mom and Dad for a short period of time. In the future, the two of you can deal with it as you see fit. After Dong Wangli finished speaking, she waved her hand and left, leaving behind two people who were not pleasing to the eye. Hey, Chuyu suddenly shouted. I don't have a name. Who was Auntie Zizi just now? Chuyu asked curiously. Not telling you. Yi Yan. How can you be like this? You clearly promised me. Chuyu said angrily. She couldn't help but step forward, preparing to pinch him. This pinching action was really a woman's instinctive action. No matter who it was, they all knew how to pinch. F***ck me. If you really pinch me, see if I don't mess with you. Come on, I'll tell your mom. You. Shameless. You're the shameless one. I can't be bothered with you. I'm going back to sleep. After saying that, Yi Yan walked into his bedroom. This made Chu Xing stomp his feet in anger, and he helplessly followed in. The two of them entered the house. At the same time, their gazes landed on the only bed in the house, and they took a look at each other. It's time for me to display my strength. Mom, why did you come? Chu Xing cried out in surprise. Yi Yan subconsciously turned his head around to take a look, and the door was tightly shut. However, when he turned his head around, Chu Xing was already lying on the bed, tightly hugging onto the blanket. Chu Xing. What? You have the nerve to snatch my bed. What's there to be embarrassed about? You go and find a place to sleep. I'm tired, you old woman. Chu Xing, Yi Yan. You're the old woman. TSK, you're already more than 100 years old, and you're still trying to act young? You old cow, do you still want to gnaw on a young grass like me? You. I shouldn't have come with you. Liar. After saying that, Chu Xing covered her mouth, and her tone seemed to be choking with sobs. This caused Yi Yan to go into a daze. It can't be, she's crying just like that, she's definitely acting, and she still doesn't know you. It's impossible for me, young Master Yi, to coax you. However, the blanket was still slightly trembling, and sobbing sounds could be heard from time to time. Alright, I admit defeat. Yi Yan said helplessly. No matter what, the other party is helping me, I shouldn't bully the other party. You're just like your uncle, I came to your place alone, I'm unfamiliar with this place, and I still have to be bullied by you. Hearing that, Yi Yan felt a headache coming on. Is there anyone who randomly accuses me like this? I was wrong, don't be angry alright. I'll tell you then, Aunt Zizi is my dad's subordinate, and my dad has a lot of subordinates. Yi Yan could only give her some benefits to prevent this old woman from getting angry. As expected, after hearing the answer, Chu Xing became a lot quieter, and didn't seem to be that angry anymore. Aren't you going to take a shower before going to sleep? You're so dirty. Yi Yan couldn't help but say. Chu Xing finally came out from the blanket. I smell very good, I don't need to take a shower. You don't like cleanliness. You are the one who doesn't like cleanliness. After speaking, Chu Xing got up from the bed, and didn't forget to warn Yi Yan, don't snatch my bed, if not you will be finished. TSK. I'm a man, would I snatch something from you? Chu Xing snorted, then went to take a shower. After a long time, Chu Xing finished taking a shower, and when she came out of the bathroom, the corner of her mouth twitched. Yi Yan. You are not a man. What answered her was a snore. Bastard. You are infuriating me. Chu Xing said angrily, then walked to the side of the bed and shook it with all her might. Get up, bastard, you lied to me. It's impossible to wake up a person who is pretending to be asleep. Chu Xing had no choice but to sit at the table and drink tea to calm down. Perhaps it was because she was too tired, she actually fell asleep on the table. Yi Yan, who was on the bed, secretly took a look at Chu Xing. This woman actually fell asleep. Forget it, Yi Yan, am also a man who has tender and protective feelings for the fairer sex. Yi Yan walked down the bed and carried Chu Xing up. Take note, it's still a princess carry. Then, Yi Yan lightly placed Chu Xing on the bed and covered her with the blanket. Yi Yan took a closer look at Chu Xing's face, and it is indeed beautiful. If Yi also looks like this, it's no wonder that my uncle is so infatuated with her, it's understandable. Suddenly, Chu Xing, who was sleeping soundly, opened her eyes, giving Yi Yan a fright. Youngster, you are still a bit inexperienced. Good night, you. You old woman. To actually lie to me. Same to you, be quiet, I am going to sleep. Just you wait. What else could Yi Yan do? After taking a shower, he immediately made a bed on the floor, and when he returns home, he doesn't even have a bed. However, just as Yi Yan was about to sleep, a knock on the door rang out. Chapter 1361. Yi Yan's soul was almost scared to death. Yan, are you asleep? Damn, it's actually my mother who came. Yi Yan and Chuyu looked at each other, what to do? I am asleep. What else could Yi Yan shout? He could only make up a story. Then, Mom is coming in. Chinya pretended not to hear, she just wanted to see if these two kids were real or fake. Yi Yan immediately panicked, Mom is really making things difficult for her son. But if it was any other boy, this is simply the most powerful mom, to be able to have such a mom is simply a super benefit. Yi Yan kept the mattress on the floor and directly got into the quilt. Chiyu looked at Yi Yan's movements that were like flowing water and had a dumbfounded look on her face. At this moment, Chinya walked in and directly looked at the bed. Mom! Yi Yan shouted unhappily, as if I, your son, am doing something and you rushed in. Where is Chiyu? Because Chiyu was sleeping inside, Chinya didn't see her and thought that Chiyu wasn't there at all. However, at this moment, Chiyu was very sensible and stretched out her little head with a red face. Mom. Since you guys are already asleep, Mom won't come in. Chinya was happy, this shouldn't be wrong, right? Yi Yan was about to roll his eyes, it was clearly Mom who barged in, and you are actually still making sarcastic remarks. Mom, you should sleep early. Okay, Yan, you need to take care of Chiyu, understand? Don't bully others, you need to act like a husband, don't learn from your father. Chinya still had to carefully instruct, especially not to learn from your father. Mom, I understand, I really feel sorry for Chiyu. After speaking, Yi Yan hugged onto Chiyu's shoulder, just that Chiyu directly bit onto Yi Yan's shoulder, causing him to frown in pain. Chinya smiled and did not say anything, then closed the door. Chinya, who was standing outside, let out a long sigh. Once upon a time, we also quarreled like this, just that this kind of quarreling has now become an extravagant hope. Should I go back tonight? I really don't know. When Yi Yan heard the sound of his mother leaving, he finally felt relieved. You still aren't letting go. Pervert. Yi Yan hurriedly let go and jumped off the bed. Who is a pervert? In that situation just now, I could only do that. Otherwise, we will be exposed. In any case, you are a hooligan. I don't want to see you. Chiyu's back was facing Yi Yan, and her tone seemed to be really angry. No matter what, Yi Yan was a scumbag-level expert. He had kissed a few hundred times, and his excuse for breaking up was enough to make a person go crazy. Of course, his skill in coaxing a girl was rather brilliant. Faced with a girl like Chiyu, Yi Yan felt that he could make her smile at any time. Honey, go to hell, who's your wife? Chu Yu became even angrier. This shameless person. Sob, 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 I don't care. You're my wife. It wasn't easy to trick you. You can't run away. Chu Yu's face darkened. You! This scoundrel, bastard. I'll tell your parents. F***ck, wait, I'm joking. Didn't you hear my tone just now? Yi Yan felt the air turn awkward. Can you grow some brains? Please, can't you be a little more serious? How can you joke like that? How boring. Chu Yu glanced at Yi Yan before lying down again. Yi Yan felt a headache while holding on to her. I can't compare this woman with other women, I still have to use some tricks. After quite a while, Yi Yan curled up on the ground, so cold, so cold. Of course, Chu Yu didn't fall asleep so quickly. After all, it was her first time sleeping in the same room as a man, and she was a bit nervous. More than that, she was worried. Who knows if Yi Yan would do something worse than a beast later on. So cold, you're going to die from the cold. Chu Yu muttered. However, she felt that the temperature here was indeed very low. Especially late at night, the temperature was around -10+ degrees Celsius. This bed seems to have a heating function, but the floor doesn't have any heating function. Woman, you don't have a bit of sympathy at all. Yi Yan said while shivering. This won't do, you don't have a bit of sympathy at all. Any woman wouldn't have the heart to let me, young Master Yi, sleep on the floor. Chu Yu laughed softly, that would depend on who it is. I don't want to talk to you right now. Yi Yan snorted proudly. Did I whet your appetite enough? Are you going to invite me to your bed? Let me tell you, I will put on an act and refuse, making it seem like I am very reserved. I will definitely not be impatient. Come, invite me, I am already prepared to accept your invitation. How about you change to another room? Yi Yan, this woman's way of thinking can't be decided by common sense. Don't talk to me. What are you doing, getting angry just like this? You don't have any manliness at all. F***k. Can't a man get angry? What does this have to do with manliness? You women are simply the kings of bullsh*t, can you be even more ridiculous? However, after a long time, Yi Yan still didn't hear Chu Yu's words. This woman is really ignoring me. F***k, I told you to ignore me, and you just ignore me, what a headache. Under this kind of unwillingly situation, Yi Yan gradually fell asleep. The temperature in the room was indeed very low, and Yi Yan seemed to be intentionally letting himself catch a cold, not resisting the cold. However, Chu Yu, who was on the bed, threw out a gentle beam of light, enveloping Yi Yan. Yi Yan, who was sleeping, could feel the warmth. It was very comfortable, as if he had fallen into his wife's embrace. The night quietly dispersed, and it was another beautiful breakfast. Yi Yan let out a yawn, then slowly opened his eyes. Where am I? Suddenly, he recalled his current situation. This woman on the bed actually ignored me. Could it be that there is a problem with my charm? In the past, I have tried it 100% of the time. It doesn't exist. It must be caused by a little mistake in my operation. Looking at Chu Yu, who was sleeping soundly on the bed, Yi Yan quietly crawled into the blanket, then pretended that nothing had happened and continued to sleep. Not knowing how long he slept for, Yi Yan only felt that his neck was a bit cold. Yi Yan opened his eyes and took a look. You, what are you doing? Chu Yu could be seen holding onto a dagger. Her eyes were completely red, and the dagger was placed on Yi Yan's neck. You despicable man, you actually insulted me. Yi Yan hurriedly explained, I didn't insult you, I really didn't. Then why did you come to the bed? Tell me. If you don't tell me clearly, I will kill you. I also know that even if I kill you, I won't be able to get out, so I will kill myself. I will definitely not accept this kind of insult. Chapter 1362. What an unyielding woman. Yi Yan suddenly discovered that Chuyu was quite interesting, and suddenly, he had an idea. That's right. Since it has already come to this, if you want to kill someone, then kill me. Yi Yan closed his eyes. This is also a gamble. If this woman makes a move, I will be dead, but if she doesn't make a move, then she will definitely fall in love with me. Suddenly, Yi Yan felt a chill on his neck. Wait. Yi Yan hurriedly stopped the other party's crazy actions. Alright, this woman's description made me, Yi Yan, completely unable to guess. It is truly terrifying. Do you have any last words? Chuyu said with reddened eyes. I didn't expect that Yi Yan was actually this kind of person. Yi Yan's brain was thinking frantically. I have to think of a method now. Seems like I can only take out my trump card. Chuyu, do you know why I want to obtain you? Because you are a scoundrel. Wrong. Old pervert. Wrong. Pervert. Yi Yan, Chuyu, because I am afraid of losing you. Yi Yan shouted out gravely. His acting skills were instantly displayed. That angry expression, that heavy and sorrowful voice, and that superb appearance, any woman would instantly faint. Too enchanting. It's fine, I am not afraid. Yi Yan, the hell, our thoughts are not on the same channel at all. But I am afraid. Could it be that you still don't understand my feelings? Yi Yan pressed onto Chuyu's shoulders with both of his hands, his saliva almost spurted out. So awkward. Looking at Chuyu's disgusted expression, Yi Yan felt. Chuyu snorted coldly. Your feelings, isn't it because you want to obtain me? Yes. I want to obtain you. But that is because I like you. That is why I want to obtain you. Yi Yan shook Chuyu's shoulders and shouted out with a pleading expression, truly touching. Chuyu went into a daze for a moment. Although it was only for a moment, Yi Yan saw an opportunity. It is not that I, scumbag Yi, am bragging, but this woman is already starting to fall. Look at my, Lord Yes, coquettish operation. Chuyu, I just want to obtain your attention, arguing with you, bringing you home, and saying that you have a child, it is all to obtain your attention. Yi Yan discovered that Chuyu's small face was getting redder and redder. My God, look at this shy look, it is so cute. You bastard. You actually set me up from the start. You even made it sound so fresh and refined. Yi Yan, I set the pace, but you purposely mess it up. Are you sent by the heavens to punish me? Looks like I really have to use my killing move. And it was the kind of explosive. It's not that I, the scumbag Yi, am bragging, but no woman can withstand this move. Remember. It could be any woman. Yi Yan used the move of a hungry wolf pouncing on fire, very much like his father. However, no matter what, his father's luck was much better than his son's. I didn't pay such a painful price in vain. Chuyu, did you sleep well last night? Dong Huang Baiji asked with concern. And, it was very fragrant. Chuyu adjusted her state of mind and said gently. However, right now, Yi Yan was thinking in his heart. This Chuyu is a tough woman, this weak appearance of hers is all a lie. Yan, what happened to your neck? Qingya looked at the red mark on her son's neck and asked curiously. Yihua said faintly, Qingya, this is our son's and daughter-in-law's bedroom matters, why are you asking so much? Everyone, Chuyu's face had already turned red, and even Yi Yan's face had turned red. Bedroom matters, my God, this word is simply too dirty. Everyone, take a seat. Lu Jing said with a benevolent smile. Yi Yan and Chu Yu sat down awkwardly. Yi Hua said faintly, Yan, Chu Yu is still pregnant, you have to bear with it, understand? Everyone, also, Shen, although it is important to give birth to a child, you also have to take care of your body. God Yi and Lu Xian, who were at the side, immediately felt the same as Yi Yan. So shy. Chapter 1363. Daji, let the blood demons serve the dishes to nourish their bodies. Yi Hua said again. He didn't expect that his son would actually turn the act into reality. Not bad. Sometimes, turning the act into reality was also a beautiful method. Thinking back to the past, let's not think back to the past, there is nothing much to think about in the past, they are all the same, inflated. This meal was as awkward as it could get. Of course, the ones who were awkward were Yi Yan and God Yi, but it would be fine once they got used to it. However, just as everyone was eating, 3 figures unexpectedly appeared at the entrance of the restaurant. Yi Hua, who was sitting at the main seat, slightly raised his head and took a look, then continued to eat his porridge. Even Lu Jing took a look and sighed softly. Only Qian Yuqing smiled faintly and said, It's good that you are back, quickly sit down and eat together. That's right, the ones who came back were naturally Yi Juetian, Gong Yu, and the child. However, Yi Juetian being able to coax his wife and child back was a huge loss, it was as if he was praying to the Bodhisattva. This made Gong Yu feel very happy. After all, this was the first time Yi Juetian begged her to return home, and he even promised a lot of things. However, Gong Yu was still too young. This man's promise, TSK, it can change at any time. Mother, big brother, sisters-in-law. Yi Juetian said respectfully. Actually, he had thought through some problems back then. He had indeed been biased against Gong Yu. He didn't think from Gong Yu's point of view, and he even hit Gong Yu. Is this something a man should do? Even beasts wouldn't do this. That's why. Towards Yi Juetian being able to bring Gong Yu and the child back, everyone was still very happy. Right now, Chu Yu curiously turned her head around, wanting to take a look at Prince Ye's little brother. However, when Chu Yu turned her head around, Yi Juetian and Gong Yu were immediately stunned. This. Yi came back. Yi didn't die. These questions lingered in Yi Juetian and Gong Yu's mind. How is this possible? Right now, Yi Juetian's mind was completely blank again, and he even walked towards Chu Yu step by step. Chu Yu was startled, and she subconsciously held onto Yi Yan's hand. Because this uncle's gaze is so... I can't say for sure, but it is filled with either deep longing or fear. Yi Yan could be seen standing in front of Chu Yu and said with a smile, Uncle, this is my wife, Chu Yu. Following Yi Yan's words, Yi Juetian stopped in his tracks. Chu Yu. You're not Yi. Yes, Uncle. My name is Chu Yu, Brother Yan's wife. Chu Yu spoke quite smoothly now, but her words made Yi Juetian's mind go blank. Chu Yu, hello. Yi Juetian took a deep look at Chu Yu, then took a few steps back, held Gong Yu's hand, and sat down. This scene seemed a little strange. If we were to kill them directly, will Little Honorable have any thoughts about it? I reckon that Little Honorable won't have any thoughts about it, but this matter will be buried deep in their hearts. In the end, being a father is not easy, there are simply too many things that one has to consider, and one cannot be too selfish and only think about revenge. Yi Hua let out a light sigh. In the past, when I was all alone, all I could think about in my mind was how to torture my enemies, and I would even think of different ways to torture them. However, ever since I met Qinya, my world seems to have changed. Qinya is simply a little demoness that torments people. Your honor has indeed become a single person. Yihua said coldly, are you saying that I wasn't a single person in the past? Subordinate doesn't dare, subordinate will go and inquire about the news right now. Go. After ending the call with Wei Chang, Yihua slightly narrowed his eyes. What's wrong? Donghuang Baiji asked curiously. Don't look at how it was just a question, this was also giving Yihua face, and it could be considered as a kind of taking the initiative to admit one's mistake. Yihua said faintly, it's about the matter between Meridian Break Sect and Deity Academy. Although the children didn't ask, all of them looked over at Yihua in unison. In their eyes, the children can be considered to have gone missing. I have no idea who leaked the news, but they said that our Wushu Empire kidnapped the children. Right now, they are currently planning on whether they should use negotiation to get the children back, or extreme methods to get the children back. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.